morning, cadre. Friday morning, what? And the week soap we'll be using today is the company Scheermonnik. Kind of cool. I like the labels on these things. This one's SOAS. Let's see. Been doing a lot of these, a little bit bakey spices. I don't know what the description is. There's no scent notes on the package itself, but it's a nice warm mellow scent, not peppery, that kind of thing. Might need to add a little bit of water. This lather just exploded on me, and it's very fluffy, so I've added water a few times. I thought I got it down to a little bit thicker. Maybe this will be all right. Mentioned on my what's a journal? What do we call them? Journals? They're not journals. I forgot what we call them. Anyway, on the Shaving Cadre under my section, been using this is now Merlin, because you can do whatever. You can be as fast as you want, not pay attention to all this stuff. Still get awesome shaves. This is the Blacklands Vector. Still have the Feather Pro blade in it. Yesterday's shave felt like it was a little bit more tuggy, but I think it was only shave 4 with this. I've never really used a pro blade, I don't think, until all the way till I was going to change it just because of numbers of use. So I don't know, it could have just been that shave, or maybe this one wears out a little faster than the Pro Guards. The Pro Guards I use for 6. So I think this is shave 5 with this one. I think so. So here we go. So anyway, I just we had a pretty amazing experience last night. So I don't know. It's tough because I could type all this out on the shavingcadre.com, but it's a whole lot easier just to talk. But not everybody watches, not everybody reads everything either, but I think fewer people watch the videos just because of time constraint. But c'est la vie. But for Mother's Day, I had gotten reservations at this restaurant, and you have to do them a couple months out. It's one of those things where they open up a month at a time to make reservations. And even making them before Mother's Day, couldn't get a weekend, so it was a weekday night. That's all right. Summertime, so that was easier to work out with the kids. Anyway, the restaurant's called Atelier Crenn, Crenn. You can look it up if you're interested. This is just one that really caught my wife's eye. We actually seen a show, I think, where they talked to the chef, showed the food and all that stuff, and since then, she wanted to go before, and since then it's just been really wanted to enjoy it. So we did. It's a 3-star Michelin restaurant where they do a tasting menu, and back probably 6-7 years ago was my first experience ever with like the tasting menu type of meal, where you're getting small bites that you're basically experiencing flavors that you've never experienced before. So it's a fun experience, and kind of talking about fine dining, like your typical fine dining where everybody's like at a white tablecloth, and it's not a tasting menu, but just the food's kind of expensive and the waiters are kind of stuffy and all that stuff. It's nice to have good food, but I'd rather feel comfortable. There's a 3-star Michelin restaurant up in Napa called French Laundry, super famous. That one we really don't have that much desire to go to because it has more of that reputation that it's more sedate and stuffy and stuff. So anyway, this one was very cool. Pretty small. They had a main room and then a little side room. I'm trying to hold back a sneeze. Okay. So in the main room there was just 6 tables. So I think 2 or 3 kind of off to the side. But it was very cool design. Here I am on pass 2 already. This is why Gear Noir does a lot of talking at the beginning, because we have stuff we want to say, and then the shave doesn't take that long. Anyway, really enjoyed the atmosphere. It felt like you were in a living room. It was very warm, and not warm hot, but just kind of, you know, wood, and just she had paintings by her dad hanging up all over the place, and not professional paintings, just like maybe your family member would do, and they just meant a lot to her, so those were hanging up. Staff, super nice, not tuxedos, but everybody had like a black suit on, but there's somebody at another table that was in jeans and a nice shirt and things like that. So it's not like you had to, like it was a super stuffy place. Everybody was friendly, they would laugh with you. Since we got time, I'm gonna add a few more drops of water to this sucker. But the experience is completely different to me than what you would consider the normal fine dining, you know, just an expensive restaurant that has good food. But a tasting menu, if you've never done it, is, you know, you're not picking anything. It's just mini courses of small bites, basically, that the chef decides to make up. Everybody gets the same thing, except I'm allergic to shellfish, so they adjust for that. And my wife got something with, there's one I think that she got something with scallop in it, and for me they used avocado or something. Anyway, you get slightly different things if you can't have something that's in the other one. But so the point in this whole, because I'm not going to be able to talk about that much anymore because of wasting our precious time together, is that unlike just going there for good food and kind of feeling like you're in a quote fancy restaurant, this is, you're paying for the experience. Yes, the service was amazing. I mean, as soon as you push, we got the wine pairings too, so as soon as you push, you know, you're done with your wine glass, somebody's whoosh, and just takes your glass away without even you hardly noticing, stuff like that. And every course you get you different style of silverware and things like that. But so the point is, like I mentioned before, is tastes that you didn't even know that were tastes. And the comment I made on Facebook is it feels like you're going to an art gallery for flavors, for tastes. That you're not just there to consume food and be full. It's that, you know, you put this thing in your mouth and it's textures and flavor combinations, and I don't know how many times, just like listening to really good music on really good speakers or really good headphones, you shut your eyes and just shut out everything and listen to the notes and stuff. I'd pop whatever in my mouth and just shut my eyes and you just experience. Like I said, it's not fine dining. It's completely another level. Oops, I'm doing things out of sequence. Hold on. Rinse first, then clean up after the alum. And part of something like that is, of course, at any restaurant where you're getting very nice foods, you know, they're probably, hopefully, preparing it a little differently than you would at home and using ingredients that maybe you would know a little bit different. But at a place like this, again, that's a whole nother level. They like one of the fish dishes somehow took part of the fish. We had cod, so there's a piece of cod, and then somehow they make a snow out of cod. So somehow they make it into a powder and mix it with dry ice, and so they're spooning this powder of cod over. I mean, it sounds, yes, you think powdered cod, that sounds nasty, and of course, you know, at a place like this, they know what the heck they're doing. But it's serving you foods also in different forms and textures and things. Then, so like I said, the experience is just something else. I mean, so if you ever get the chance, do the research, because I've been to tasting menus where it's just kind of like, okay, it's pretty, but to me, the most important thing is you're tasting things you've never tasted before. If you're tasting stuff and it doesn't surprise you, or you're like, I never knew that whatever ingredient could taste that way, to me, I don't know what you're paying for. So going to a place that's inventive and stuff is important. But like another example is one of the dishes had a dehydrated, reconstituted basil leaf on it. So it wasn't just a dehydrated basil leaf. They like dehydrate it, crush it up, and somehow reform it into the shape of a leaf. And you'd think, okay, well, that's just to show off. But no, the flavor is completely different than if you just put a basil leaf. I mean, you still get basil, but there's more intense. Anyway, it was very cool. Amazing flavors, just like there's lemon, amazing. And kind of the neatest part, and we're not exactly sure what earned us this award, have some suspicions, but when we were done, they said, would you like a tour of the kitchen and the pastry kitchen? And we were like, sure, and nobody else was getting that. So that was pretty cool. We went back, and they're obviously used to folks coming back there because everybody at the same time, I think they said hello in French or something, but super friendly. I kind of thought, well, they'd be like, well, can't wait till they get out of here. But I think it must have been the head chef, not the owner. She wasn't there that night, but asked if we had any favorite dishes. And then our server said, would you like a photo with them? And, you know, everybody gathered around. I mean, they're still in service and stuff like that, but everybody gathered around and took a photo with us. And anyway, super cool. Had a good time. What else are we going to talk about? I'm pretty much done. I guess we could end it. You want a short video? Are you tired of you can see the little thing for the new video. It's like 22 minutes, half an hour, and you're like, I don't got that kind of time. Anyway, there's a whole nother topic I was thinking of, but we're pretty much done. I did the alum, I did the witch hazel, we're still doing the Nivea 2-in-1. Look at this, we're down. You know, I don't use a lot of this, but got maybe a third left of this bottle. Working our way through it. There we go. So I guess I'll get back to, I mentioned this guy, there's a reason I call him Merlin. One day I was a little bit late, just went super fast. Still ended up with a BBS. When you take your time, down here is tough for me, but I've learned that I can go directions that it's like with almost any other razor. If I go certain strokes, and even especially doing, you know, pulling the skin, I didn't do it today because I was talking with you guys, but I can get a little bit more aggressive and get the best, smoothest BBS shave with no alum sting whatsoever. And those are things where I could do them before and go, okay, I want super smooth, but I'm going to pay the price with alum sting and maybe a little redness. Not with this. I don't know how they do that. You would think if it's just a blade angle or something, somebody else would have figured it out. So I don't know. A lot of dudes on the cadre try it and buy it, and there's a reason for it. So there we go. We'll end it with that. Thank you for spending time with me. That's all. See you on the forums. Have a great Friday. Hope you got a good weekend planned.